Hello, Darren.
Hey, how are you?
Good. I enjoyed St Agatha. Thought it was a fantastic movie. Do you think this horror nun genre is like exploding all of a sudden?
I think so. I mean, luckily with the nun, it put a little spotlight on us, which was exciting. But I've always been a huge fan of religious horror, movies that are set in some sort of religious backdrop. So I always welcome another nun exploitation film.
And it's funny, the nun horror has always been like very taboo, and I think the adult industry in some way, however you want to look at it, has always had some spooky, demonic, sexy nuns, and now it seems like Hollywood and independent filmmakers like yourself have really kind of jumped into the nun genre, and St. Agatha definitely has some creepy imagery with it, and it was a movie that had a lot of thought put into it. As the director, did you also work on the script as well?
This was a movie that came to me normally I develop things from the very infancy stages. This came to me much later in the process. It was already written by three writers at the time when it first came to me. One of the producers, Sarah Samedi-Michaels, was the original writer with Andy, I can't pronounce his last name, Demetrio and Sean Fletcher. But it was a very different script than what I came on with. Very, very different. I read it and I liked what they did, but I wanted to take it into a more psychological as opposed to graphic nature. Their original version was a lot more intense and horror based. And so what I try to do is pull it back a little bit, make it a little more psychological, and make it more character driven. So I brought in another writer named Clint Sears, who I'd worked with, for the last 15 years on script work. And Clint did a rewrite kind of based on my desires and kind of my own sensibilities. And we kind of put it back into a more realistic scape, yet still trying to keep some of the nastiness that would appeal to a horror crowd.
Did you have to do a lot of research on Catholicism and stuff like that for this movie? Did you were you knee deep in understanding about the religion and the strictness behind a lot of it sometimes?
Well, my writer Clint he is Catholic. I'm not a Lutheran, but he came from a very, I don't want to say strict Catholic upbringing, but he definitely came from a Catholic upbringing, as did Sarah, the writer and producer. However, one of the things that I kind of like, which we do, and this is a spoiler for those that have not seen the movie yet. So if you've not seen the movie, please stop reading the article, go watch the movie, then come back. But one of the cool things that some freedom that allowed us to get away with is, at the very end of the movie, we kind of reveal that it's not an actual convent. These are not actual nuns; they're con women. At the very end, St. Agatha or Mary confronts Mother Superior and says, "Do they know? Do your investors know that you're not really a convent?" And then, what's her name? Carolyn Hennessy's character, Mother Superior, gives this answer and says, "That's all how you look at it." She's like, "Yes, at one time I was a nun, but I have now found a business for myself." And so what was cool about that for us was it gave us an out that, these were con women that had basically perverted their own understanding of religion to do something more extreme. And there's also another hint in the movie. About 2/3 of the way through, Mother Superior's on the phone, and she's talking to someone, and she says, "Just please give me some more time, and we'll pay you back," hinting at Mother Superior's in over her head financially, and using these girls to pay off debt. So, Clint was very into Catholicism and really wanted to be cautious not to offend diehard believers. But I wanted to, my favorite subject is religion. Like, if you look at my last 4 or 5 movies, they all have something to do with religion or Satanism or people's search for understanding of religion. It's something that always fascinates me.
When you work on a movie like this that's an independent project, as well as other films that you've done, like Tales of Halloween or 11/11/11, Mother's Day, what do you really prefer doing? Do you want a movie that's a big studio project that's in theaters like Saw 2, 3, and 4, or do you much more prefer the small, intimate setting of an independent movie that you don't have to now I gotta fly all over the planet Earth or whatever and promote this movie around and talk about the same thing over and over again at all these, gala openings for the film?
Well, I'll tell you what, 10 years ago, if you would ask me the question, I would have told you I wish I could do independent films more. 10 years later, now me in my 40s, I wish I could do studio films. It's kind of the grass is always greener kind of, I think, mentality. When I did the Saw movies, I became so overwhelmed and so, I guess, jaded because I saw 2, 3, and 4 back to back to back. And it was a non-stop, I felt like, machine of doing press and doing all of these things. It became overwhelming, and I just wanted to do something small. Now I've spent 10 years, 15 years doing something small. I want nothing more than to go back to the machine. So I think it's all in moderation. So what was great about something like St Agatha was I had the freedom to cast what I wanted to cast and shoot what I wanted to shoot. That's great. The bad thing about that is that when you do something like this, that you're doing it independent, you don't have the infrastructure to put it in 3,000 screens. You don't have the $25 million to put in TNA. It's hard to compete with those movies. It's hard to compete with a movie like The Nun that I bet you had $20 million in TNA behind it, if not much more. So I think that there are pros and cons to each of them.
By the way, Tales of Halloween is one of my favorite holiday movies of all time.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's great. It is. It's one of my favorites as well. And it was such a fun project because it was very quick in and out. We were there and then we were done. Again, I got to work with people that I enjoyed working with. I got to work with Clint Sears, who was my rewrite on this. Barry Bostwick. It was a really, really fun project.
Did you ever have anything strange and unusual involving, I don't know, something religious happen on set while filming this movie? Because a lot of these religious movies sometimes have strange and unusual things happen.
Not on this movie. I have. There's a whole commentary on what happened to me when I shot 11/11/11, which was by far more interesting than the movie itself. And it dealt with absolutely crazy, insane, supernatural, weird, unexplainable shit. Not this movie. This movie was actually not a lot happened from a standpoint of bump in the night and weird, crazy shit. But if you want to hear some insane stuff, listen to my commentary or kind of research the things that went on during 11/11, because I'm still at a place of trying to understand how what happened did happen.
My roommate buys a lot of stuff on DVD and Blu-ray all the time, so I will see if he has 11/11/11. I haven't seen it in, my God, 8 years, so I'll definitely have to go back and listen to it with the commentary.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
One of your best films, by the way, has to be Repo, the Genetic Opera. I swear I wish for a sequel. I played the soundtrack on my radio show, Radio of Horror. I can't praise that movie enough, and I hate musicals, but I love that movie.
Thank you, man. It's obviously something near and dear to my heart as well. Just for the sheer ability that it was able to get made. The fact that it was able to get made. It's such a weird movie. It's such a crazy, eccentric cast. The fact that it was able to get made is just insane. So I'm really proud of that film.
St. Agatha, do you ever end your day after making all of your shots and wondering, is the movie scary enough? Am I making it terrifying enough? Am I doing it right? Do you ever second guess yourself, even after doing as many films as you have been doing since 2001, 2005?
Always, 100%, 1,000%, constantly and always. You never know what you have, and you always hope that an audience will respond to it. It's a constant thing that you struggle with. There's the movie that you start off in the script, and then there's the movie that you end up with the edit, and they're sometimes very different, vastly different. In this movie, it changed quite a bit from the initial inception to what it actually became. This became much more of a drama than I think it was originally intended to, but you have to let the movie be what it wants to be. And I think when we were shooting this, Mother Superior, our Carolyn Hennessy, was such a force to be reckoned with, and she was so engaging. And we kind of shifted what the original script was and let it play more with her. So the original script was much more vicious and much more violent. And it kind of was a disservice to Carolyn's performance. Carolyn was so engaging to watch. It almost seemed cheap when you let some of the viciousness happen. So we kind of toned some of it back and let Carolyn do her thing. You
must be a horror movie collector yourself. Do you have any major horror memorabilia that's your pride and joy?
Well, yes, and most of it comes from my own movies, though. What I have in my office is a really cool thing. I don't know if there's a picture of it online, but I always take props from every movie that I do, and I frame them in a light box. Surrounding my office is Repo and Saw and Mother's Day and 11/11 and The Baron, and it's all the premiere prop from that movie. So, like, for example, 1, I have the spine that Repo Man rips out, and it's framed in the poster. And in Saw 2, I have the bat with the nails. And in Saw 3, I have the circular saw that cut his head open. In Saw 4, I have the pig mask. On Mother's Day, I've got the knife that Ike makes the girl stab themselves with. So I collect all of that, and it's all kind of pushed around my... And of course, I have the Billy doll, the puppet you saw. I have the Jersey Devil in my office. So I definitely 100% do that.
You worked in television a little bit. You ever thought about going back to it? Horror television is constantly roller coasting up and down, and it seems to be coming back again with like new. We got the Twilight Zone coming. We got this H.P. Lovecraft show coming. We got Penny Dreadful coming back again. Do you want to return to television? Because you did like one episode of Fear Itself.
Oh yeah, I would love to. It's a weird club though. It's like. I've never had that in. I need to find the in. I need to find that person who believes in me enough to let me go back to TV, but I would absolutely love to do it.
I will win the lottery tomorrow. I will self-finance my own TV show, and I will call you to direct the first episode.
Please do that. I will be there. I will be there tomorrow.
Do you ever want to do something besides horror? I mean, or like thriller or suspense?
Yeah, I'm doing the next movie I just finished. I just finished a movie just recently, like literally last month. Called The Death of Me, which stars Maggie Q, Luke Hemsworth, and it's much different. It's a much different tone. I think I'm excited for people to take a look at this. Is
Maggie Q from La Femme Nikita that show?
Yeah, that is her.
Awesome. Ooh, can't wait. I don't know anything about it other than there's a lot of blank in the cast list on IMDb. But have you ever thought about writing? Because a lot of directors get into comics sometimes. You ever thought about writing comics?
I did one comic book. That was where Abattoir started. Abattoir actually started as a comic book. It was a very long, arduous process. While it was fun, it took so long for the artwork, the approvals. Yes, I would do it, but I have some other things I want to get done before I get back to doing comics again.
So sorry to interrupt, but just want to let you both know that we have a little under 2 minutes left. Thank you.
Sure.
Is there anything else you want to say about St. Agatha?
No, just give it a watch. I think it's a nasty little thriller. I think you have great performances by an astoundingly amazing female cast, kind of spearheaded by the amazing Carolyn Hennessy as Mother Superior.
Out of all your movies that you directed, what is your favorite kill from any film? And I'm not just talking about Saw, but like any any movie you filmed. Excuse me. What is the best way someone has died?
Well, I think St. Agatha has to win that one by strangulation with an umbilical cord. I mean, how does it get better than that? Like, how do you get better than strangulation with an umbilical cord?
That is pretty disgusting. I don't think I've seen an umbilical cord used in such a horrifying manner since Rob Zombie's The Lords of Salem, where the umbilical cord is jutting out towards his wife in that movie. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know, and that's... I do. I absolutely do. And I think that, by the way, I love Lord of Salem is one of my favorite films. I wanted to do something shocking, and I think we did that with this. I mean, I think some of the kills in Mother's Day were fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Mother's Day still is one of my favorite films, and so I would say Mother's Day definitely is one of those.
Definitely. But nothing kills more than Anthony Stewart Head singing in Repo the Genetic Opera.
Right? I know. I want to make a sequel to that one.
Oh, my God, you have to. You really have to. Hey, man, thank you so much.
I've been trying for years.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I've been a fan of yours since Saw 2, and I will watch everything you do.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Have a great night.
You too.
Bye.